let us go. And the cat's using the litter box. How you doing, Brutus? Ruining my video? You enjoying that? Just tell me when you're done. Oh, he is done. Okay, now I feel bad. Interrupting his poopy time. Anyway. Hello, welcome to another episode of Bot and Back. And today we have the Studio Series Transformers 1 Optimus Prime Deluxe class. And here we have the Takara Brave Commander Optimus Prime, also from the Transformers 1 movie. I'm going to be doing a comparison video of these two, so you can see which one you might like better or prefer. I'd like to thank my friend Yanni for lending me these figures so that I can do this video for you. So let's just get started. First, we'll just compare these guys. I'm just going to say right off the bat, my main, sorry, I have a frog in my throat. My main huge issue with this figure, and this is the same issue I have with a lot of the Transformer 1 figures, is this tan here. It's just, I don't like it. A lot of people will say it's how the movie looks, and I guess I get it, but just taking this toy and looking at it, it's not pleasing to the eye. I don't like it. I much more prefer this. In fact, if I really had my druthers, as the kids say, actually the kids absolutely don't say that. If I had my preferences, I would love it to be more of this silver, but you know, we have our budget issues, but it also might be an issue where maybe they're worried about the paint chipping. I'm not sure what the decisions ever are for not painting things. I'm assuming budget. But anyway, so that's how they look together. This guy just, I don't like seeing that waist in there, and it's just, it looks awkward. That always throws me off when I see that. I don't think, I'm also just going to say it right now. I'm not a fan of this alt mode at all. I don't care who makes it. I don't care. I just don't like it. I've never liked it. I haven't liked it since they first revealed these guys from the movie. So I have that bias going on. But if I'm trying to, I never finished that transformation there. But if I'm trying to be objective about it, this really, it bothers me. I don't like it. I wish there were actual wheels. Instead, you just got like these little tiny wheels down here. At least you have that, I guess, so it rolls. Looks pretty good from the bottom. Not a lot of kibble showing up at all. No kibble showing up at all, I guess, anywhere. So, if you're a fan of this alt mode, besides the tan, I think overall he looks okay. It just, again, this is weird. I don't know why it bothers me. It just does. It just doesn't fit in. For this guy, just looking at him, I like how he looks better. He just seems more well put together. He doesn't have a lot of weird things. Like back here, this looks great. This looks fine. Everything looks really great. The only thing that throws me off a little bit, the weapon storage is a little bit lazy. I wanted to see if you could just plug it in here, but you can't. This is actually for the trailer. I'll show you that in a second. Not that he had a trailer in the movie, but you know what? They went out of their way and gave him the ability to carry a trailer behind him. So, there we go. One really cool One really cool feature with this figure is that if you push this little button down here, these pop out. I really like that. I think that's cool. So he's got some extra arsenal to fight the bad guys with. And then you can just push him back in, push this together, and there you go. You're all set. But I just think he's very clean. He's nice and chunky. Yeah, the wheels. I don't think the wheels probably didn't show even on the movie figure. I should have compared that myself and looked at it. But I think that they're all just going to look like that. So that's probably not a fair complaint. That's more of a, I don't like how they designed this character, period, that you don't see wheels at all there. But he does have, again, he has some wheels down here. Not too, well, I think he's showing a little more of his robot mode here than this guy. You really kind of can't see his head. You can tell that these are his legs. I guess you can, it's less obvious these are his legs, but here's his hands right here. At least you can turn them, so it's harder to tell. His head's right in there. But again, he's always going to be like this, so I probably shouldn't even bother doing that I never care if you can see too much under there. Unless, like, when it's actually like this, you can tell, then it's a problem. Maybe if you have, like, a jet mode, then, like, if you want to pretend you're flying it, maybe that's also a problem if it's too obvious there's a robot underneath. But anyway, yeah, this is the weapon storage. It's not fabulous, but at least you can do it. This guy has got, I think the weapon storage is just a little bit cleaner. But I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a trailer so I can show you what's going on with this guy. Okay, I'm going to take off his axe just so you can see it a little bit better. It looks a little nicer. But this is the Studio Series Commander Class Optimus Prime trailer. And you can plug that right in there. I don't think that looks bad, actually. I think that looks very nice. The thing is, I watched the Go video, and he used the actual Masterpiece trailer. I think it was the MP44, and that is perfect. And it's like they made it specifically to match that. But this is not bad. I don't think this is bad, and this is probably what most people are going to have. And it's neat that they, gave him the ability to have a trailer, even though, again, I don't remember him. Oh, there's so much dust on there. Sorry, you can just watch that. Oh, you can probably see that. I'm so embarrassed. I should not have had company over. This place is a mess. Anyway, I am 99% sure he did not have a trailer in the movie, so it's neat that they gave you the option. I also have this knockoff version of one of the Michael Bay trailers. I forget which movie or knockoff. I know it just turns into a weapons platform, and I think it's really cool and one of the best uses of a trailer. I should do a review of this trailer actually and show it to you sometime, but we'll just keep that as like a little, I don't know, tease. So maybe let me know in the comment section below, would you like to see a review of this trailer? It basically turns into this big, like, circular platform that holds lots of weapons, and I think it's cool. But I digress. It does not really go into his trailer whole thing there, so that's kind of a bummer. So it also kind of sticks up a little bit too much. The size is a little bit better, but yeah, it's obviously angling up, so this isn't a great fit for it. But anyway, just another option from what I can show you. The only other thing okay, one more thing I can show you. I'll be right back. So here it is with the Earthspark trailer. If that's all you have and you're curious, it looks awful. It looks comical. I mean, if you want it for laughs, sure, but that just kind of doesn't work at all. And same can be said for the Laser Optimus Prime mold. This is actually the Scourge one, but so much dust. So much dust. I got dust off my fingers. Yeah, that looks pretty bad too. But it's funny. Haha. This has got me thinking, though. I want to double check. Let's take this axe off. Yeah, there's really no place. I mean, maybe like the peg could hook. Okay, let's try something. We're in experiment mode now. Just with the eartherized one. Because I think it's the only one that would really fit well. You could put this peg like right ahead of there. No, you can't, because the feet in the back are pushing it up too much, so it can't really clamp on. If you really want to, you could put that like there. It's still angling up, unfortunately. But if you really need a trailer, you're probably going to want to use the Earthspark one. I don't know. I guess that doesn't look too bad. It's not really holding on incredibly securely, but if you're just gonna show it off for some reason like that, sure. Okay, enough of this madness. Let's move on to transformations. We will start with this guy. And first off, oh, you want to get this. This is actually an accessory, and it is on tight. You want to be careful, because I'm scared it's going to break something off one of these days. But that's his accessory. Put that off to the side, and now we got this guy. The first thing that we're going to do, and this is also very tight, this post is in his fist here, and we want to pop that off, but we also want to untab it from the side there. Same for this side. And it's, again, just wiggle it, be patient, to get that off. And see, that's the other thing. It takes so much force. Sometimes everything else will come apart as I'm pushing. And I'm going to say, this is not together. Once you have everything tabbed in, it's fine. It's going to stay. But it's just not cleanly everything tabbing in as much as I want to. It's just a little bit too fiddly. Fiddly is the right word, right? And once everything comes apart, everything just kind of, like, this will untab here, because there's so much force getting that off. Things come undone in other places, and it really bothers my OCD tendencies. So anyway, once we have all of that off, what should we do next? We will fold the legs down, and then we're going to bring the whole thing up like that. And then let's just separate. Well, they're already separated, but normally they shouldn't be, and then you can separate them. And once you separate them, I think this is neat. You take this part, the wheels, and you rotate it all the way around like that. I'll do it on this side from this angle. All the way around. I think that's kind of cool. It might be my favorite part of the transformation. And then you can just lift his feet up. They really click loudly, and it always scares me when I do it, by the way. And then another frustration is this, the crotch piece. You can see, you can already tell it has already come undone. There's a very there's this peg here that this is supposed to go over. It comes loose way, it'll come undone way too easily. It just did it again. I barely touched it, and it comes off. You can breathe on it lightly, and it'll come off. That's an exaggeration, but it feels like it. And then, for the transformation, you're supposed to bring this down. It kind of clicks, but it does not stay in at all. We'll get into later how this affects the articulation and posing. But anyway, okay, enough about that. Now what we want to do is you just want to turn this whole thing around, like so. And we pretty much have the lower body done. So let's focus on this part. This has already come undone. It wasn't supposed to. Normally, there's these tabs here that this is tabbed into. Before we do that, that wasn't supposed to happen yet, but it will happen to you when you transform him. You want to pull this up and just pull the roof back, like so. Okay, now to get his arms started, we want to untab these, and these are going to probably untab by themselves at some point. But you're going to untab them. This is going to get the light better there. This is going to come out like this. You want to bring the arm up and then fold it in on it, like that. Let me do that again on this side. So you have the arm like this. This gets untabbed down there. This is going to, as you untab it, this part up here is going to kind of come up by itself. Bring it out all the way. Bring the shoulder up and then fold it over it, like that. So now we have those arms done. Yeah, that's just really cool how they have this butterfly joints. That is also a really cool part of the transformation that I like. So now we want to fold this down. And another part that's a little frustrating to me, it's not a huge deal because it's still secure enough. These two tabs go into these two slots, but when you fold this down, they do it. It's a soft click, and soft clicks bother me because I feel like it's not secure or tight. But he stays in there. It's still not a problem. Like, it's not coming loose, so it's fine. And then you can grab his head and pull this up, turn his head up like this, and then turn the whole thing around. There we go. And now the backpack, you want to angle it forward. If you try to just turn it, it gets in the way of this bit of his back here. So angle it and then turn it. Now, before we bring it down, well, we can just bring it down and he's done. But if you want to, while you're doing that, if you want to do some weapon storage, you can take this part. You want to put this part in first. And you want it to go in against these slots. These little mini tabs at the bottom will go into these slots you see on the top here. So you can just push that in. And it doesn't, I don't know, it's a little frustrating to me. It doesn't really tab in very securely. Like, it's on there once you get it on there. It's just a little fiddly, again, like some other things have been. So once you do that, it's on there. Bring it down. And once it's down, this isn't going to come loose. It's not going to just fall out. So that's fine. So that's your weapon storage for that. If you want to, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself doing weapon storage now, but oh well, why not? You can also take this tab for the axe and put it in this slot. I'm not going to do it because this is not my figure, and it is a tight fit. And I feel like every time I do it, I'm going to start putting some kind of stress on that slot. Another frustration I have with the figure. But let's take a look at him. He's transformed. And you can put his axe in, by the way. There's his axe. It's pretty cool. Looks good. But that's him transformed. And I think he looks good. He looks fine. Like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that bothers me specifically about him. He has a really clean backpack, actually. So that looks nice. Again, I really don't like the tan. The tan bothers me. But he's got a nice face sculpt. He has got the ability to... I don't know why this opens separately. Because you have to open the whole thing to see the matrix. And I don't understand this part here. I keep thinking this is supposed to go down, but it doesn't. This goes up as well. But there's his matrix, and if you look carefully, there's these little clear blue plastic parts here. Let's take out the matrix and have a look at it. Please don't pop out too hard, because it'll fly across the room and I can't never find it again. There's the matrix. It looks nice. It's got that clear blue crystal in the middle, some nice silver paint. Now these little clear blue tabs on the sides, they can go into his hands, which have these tabs here, or slots here. And it's a little weird because you have to put them in at an angle. Maybe that's just because of how naturally his hands come together. Yeah, actually, that's actually probably pretty smart that they did it that way. Here, let's take his axe out of his hand here. Yeah, now that I think about it, I was about to complain, but I believe that was intentional. Once we get that tabbed in, it's not tabbing in. There we go. We got them both tabbed in. It's still a little fiddly to do so, to get them to do it. Gosh, it's really... There we go. We got it. And hey, you know what? Probably a reason, again, for these nice butterfly joints. I keep calling them joints. I don't know if that's a Marvel Legends term or if it's a anyway. There. So that's cool. He can hold it. He looks a little nervous. Like, am I supposed to be holding this? What's going on? What's going to happen? But yeah, it's not the most cool pose, but I feel like it's the only position he can really hold it very well. And unfortunately, I feel like to do that, he gets untransformed a little bit with his shoulders, unless I'm just doing this wrong. No, you can do it without his shoulders doing that, I guess. But it's hard getting this in there. There. Oh, he pooped. He pooped out his accessory. This is not in there very well, actually. And I'm just going to say it. This does not stay in there snugly. He still looks a little nervous. He looks like he's like asking someone out, like, will you be my Valentine? Here's a matrix. Anyway, still, they didn't even have to do that, so good on them. Matrix looks nice. Let's pop that back in there. And there we go. If you want to, you can turn these pipes around. If you just like how they look the other way. So let's do articulation. His head has very nice articulation. Looks up really far, partly because of transformation. Okay, he cannot really... Well, he can look down a little bit. Not really, actually. He can't really look down very much, can he? But, so that's the head. The arms. I'm really impressed by the arm articulation. It butterflies back a little bit. The backpack gets in the way. If you pull the backpack out, he can get back a little bit farther. His arm will go all the way around. Like so. One only real gripe is that I don't like that this can come off because the transformation may be a little too easily. Now this part, I don't like when arms articulate like this. I wish that they would pivot more down here, if that makes sense. I don't like how it goes right up to his head. But I don't know, at least some of them that do that, they can't do this once they're up here. Those are some of the worst scenarios of that type of figure that has that articulation, but that's a little bit of a downside. But it does go all the way around. We have our bicep swivel, like so. His hand does swivel all the way around. It rotates. It doesn't bend at all. But it does that, and it does a 90-degree bend, but that's where you're stuck. He doesn't have any kind of ab crunch. He does kind of rotate at the waist. I mean, it's not at the waist if you want to be finicky about it, but he does rotate because of the transformation all the way around. Once he's here, it looks a little weird. I mean, who's going to do that all that way anyway, unless you're breaking his back? Here's another problem when we're getting to the legs. Like, come on, man, be nicer to me. No, I'm being objective. Anyway, sorry. Toy Story syndrome coming in again. So, if you want to bring his leg up, you need to move up his crotch plate. It moves up really weird. I don't like that it's one piece. So when you're doing this, he's also got another crotch underneath. And, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's weird. It looks weird to me. And again, well, amazingly, this is staying on. Usually it does not stay on very well. Usually this pops off of this very loose friction hinge. I keep moving my mouth away from the mic. So his leg goes up that, there it goes. There it goes, now it's coming off. Leg goes up that far. He goes back a really nice amount. Bend at the knee is a little over 90. He has got swivel at the knee, above the knee. No swivel down here at all. He does have ankle tilt. Thank you, because the Starscream TF1 figure, he has great ankle tilt, and it's not even for transformation. That's awesome. All right, kudos to you for that. And if you want to, because of transformation again, you can point his toes. And his spread is almost full splits. There goes the crotch plate again. Grr. This is a pain. I don't like it. But overall, as much as it might seem like I don't like this figure, I'm pleasantly surprised by it. It's got some fiddly bits. Specifically, there, it just came off again. If you push this out too hard, this just will come kind of loose. Actually, you can really see, if you really try to push it down, make it secure, all of this comes off. And I am not rough with my toys, I don't think. But there, it will click in eventually, like at this spot here. Is there an actual tab? No, just, I don't know, it's just not, that part just, it's hard not to focus on that. The rest of the figure is very nice, besides the weird tan color. The back looks really nice too, I think. Not, like, that's a very clean backpack. It's beautiful. So actually a really nice figure, nice articulation for the most part, some fiddly bits, but he's a nice toy. He's a good toy. I would like him more if I liked just this design in general. I don't really like the bot mode. I don't really like the alt mode. That's just my own personal opinion. My point is, if you like the movie designs, if you like how he looks in the movie, you will like this. It's a very good representation of that. The alt mode is pretty good as well. It's just got some weird bits that I talked about before. Let us move on to the transformation for the Takara Tomy Brave Commander. I have already taken the axe off, so let us first thing before I forget, you want to turn these around like that. I kept thinking you're supposed to do that for the other figure, because this one you do, and I get them mixed up. Let's go back to his legs. The first thing we want to do with this is first there's these tabs and slots here, as you can see. Now this part's a little bit tricky, and I'm going to tell you why. This is this section here is tabbed together very tightly, and it's also, this is folded. You'll see. Here, this will come undone, but it's really hard. I'm pushing really hard. I don't want to break it. It's not my toy. There, it did it. But you hear that loud snap? It's just a really tight connection. And then this part also comes apart back here as well. Once you've done that, and once this is untabbed up here, pull this out, and it swings down, and this will go into there. And it clicks in pretty satisfyingly. Then you want to move this panel in, and then fold this over, like so. Same thing for the other side. Bring this down, push that in, bring that in, fold that up. Now let's go down to his feet, push his feet out, and then you can bring the heels out, which are a little tough to get a hold of for me personally. But there, at least they're in there securely. Count our blessings. There we go, got it. So there, that's his lower body pretty much done. Let's turn the whole thing around now. And I'm going to need to move the camera up for this next part. This is a tall boy. This is a tall boy. Okay. So, next thing we want to do, these bits here, these tab together, the two arms. This untabs kind of easily, especially when you're doing the transformation. So if it hasn't already untabbed, untab it. Oh, sorry, one thing. All right, so here we are with this. First, we want to push these wheels in. And then, this is not the most secure tab. If it is not already untabbed itself, you want to untab this. Bring these arms out. You want to bring the fists down. Bring them down the rest of the way and rotate them at the elbow. Like so. Now, the next thing that we want to do is let's untab. There's two tabs and slots there. Just untab them. You don't really need to move this around yet or do anything. Just untab them. So once we do that, we can, well, let's go back here too. We're going to untab these little tiny panels on the side. They're in there pretty snug, actually. Come on. There. Oh, I know what's wrong. This isn't part of it. That's not part of the panel. I was pulling on a thing that's connected to that side of him. You want to grab from up here. Don't be like me. Grab from the top of the panel and it'll come out. There we go. Now that we have all those parts untabbed, grab this and just pull this whole thing up. Once you pull it up, you want to pull these out. They only come out slightly, these side panels here. And then you can bring these panels in, fold this over, and then this whole thing goes down inside, like so. Now, some people might be frustrated that it's basically a fake front of the cab. Well, this is the real front of the cab, but then they have this fake front of the cab. Some people don't like that. It's almost like this unfolds into a shell and goes over it. I think it's neat. I believe the Siege and Earthrise versions of Optimus Prime do something similar, and I actually like it. Some people, again, do not care for it. So anyway, so now that we've done that, let's take his arms. We're going to fold them. Well, we're going to rotate them down, like so. And then we're going to, on a double hinge, bring them up. And they click in up here. Same for the other side. Do that. Bring this up. It clicks in. And then we can just unfold his head. Peekaboo. There he is. It snaps in kind of lightly. And there's his head. And his arms. We have that done. So before we do anything else with him, let's take this part. We're just going to turn this around 180. We're going to fold these panels all the way in, and we're going to fold this down. And it might help to also, I don't know if you saw that there, the light's not great. There's this hinge here. You want to fold that at 90 degrees. You can see it like that. You want it like that. For now, just to get it out of the way. Now what we want to do is we're going to, he'll be like this. You want to accordion him down. First that part, and then bring this part down. The whole thing goes in. And now that part is pretty much done. You also want to take his fists and turn them around. I like them, when I'm transforming him, I like his fists like that, because once he's in alt mode, they're hidden better. But now we want to turn them around so they look good in alt mode, or in robot mode. So there we go. And the last thing we really need to do is we're going to just straighten this back out. And as we're doing it, this is going to clip into his back. The whole thing will. And this is a bit of a soft tab again. It comes undone a little easier than I like. But there we go. And that's a nice back. It's not really horrible back kibble, similar to the Deluxe version, the Studio Series version. And that's him. That's him in his robot mode. Here, let's move the camera so you can get a better look at him. But there he is. He looks really nice. I appreciate them using the cool gray and not that warm tan gray. And really not any kibble to speak of either. Looks very nice. I think if I had one complaint versus this guy, I think his arms, his upper shoulders are a little too bulky. He looks a little toy-like, and I know, okay, yes, he's a toy. He looks a little kind of, how do I say it? His head sculpt and his arms, his upper arms, make him look a little play school. Not too much, just a little bit. But it's a minor gripe. He does look really nice. And let's go into some of the play features. He does the same thing in this mode that he does in his alt mode. Push that button, and these guns pop out. That's really cool. I love that. And he has guns. He also has his axe that you can put in his hand. Same way as you do the Studio Series. So he can chop up whoever. Okay. Issue here. It's not too bad. It will mostly stay up, but I just noticed this actually. Oh, I'm a professional. Yeah, that's an issue. I'll have to ask Yanni if this has always been the case or if it's been like this over time, but that's a little too heavy for that hinge. And if you look at that hinge, it is, you'll see like there's a metallic, it's metal. There's a metal rod that goes in there. And metal rods, I have learned, are hard, if not impossible, to fix to make them more stable. It's fine without the axe, but usually I'll use floor polish or something. I'll probably do a video sometime to show how to do it. But you could, if it's a plastic connection, like a ball joint, it is easy to fix with floor polish. This is not, because it is that metal rod. I know some people have talked about ways to do it. I don't know how. It's beyond my capabilities. I don't like that does not hold up. Now he'll hold up that way pretty well, so that's fine. But that's a little bit of a bummer. So that's cool that he can do that. Another thing that he can do is if you lift his head up, this part here will go up. And you can rotate it, and it's a little hard to get a hold of it. But you can do it. You can rotate it so that he has the Orion Pax head. I just think he looks a little dorky. Sorry, just kind of like, whoa, am I on? Hey guys. Like, he just does not look too, he just looks nervous and happy. Like, he's hearing a joke he does not get. He's pretending to laugh at it anyway. That's what he looks like. But anyway, I think he looks better with the face mask. But that is another option. I also think this makes him look even more like a child's toy. But anyway, so that's cool that it can do that. You have weapon storage up here. right there for his axe. Very nice. Weapon storage is always good. And he has his matrix. And this matrix opens. Come on. There. This one opens the way I thought the other one was going to open. The top and the bottom will pull out. And that's actually a really interesting color. Usually, if you have a lot of Optimus Primes, like I do, I'm not trying to brag. I don't know how I ended up that way, because he's not even my favorite character. Hasbro just makes a lot of cool Primes. Anyway, trying to get this loose. It's hard to get a grip in there. In brightest day and darkest night, evil will escape myself. Wait, that's the Green Lantern oath. There it goes, and it's on the floor. I'm professional. It came out. It's just on a peg. It shouldn't be that hard. I don't feel like it was that difficult the last time I did it. Okay. Here's an issue. I told you this does not tab in securely. This comes off. This comes loose too easily. I know I was shaking him a bit, but I think it comes off too easily. But there, that's the matrix. It's interesting because it's like mostly this bronzish, I don't think that's a gold, copper color. There's really no silver. And I do like the crystal in the middle. That's cool. So he has a matrix, and he can hold it much easier than the other figure because his hands have got hinges here, so he can actually open his hand. And I'm holding it properly. Okay. Another issue with this figure. No, I did not break it. It's got mushroom pegs that come apart way too easily. Specifically, this one. I've never had problems with the other one, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a factory thing for this specific figure. There it goes again. I swear I'm putting it in nice and as tightly as I can. Maybe this is an issue that Yanni has experienced when he first got the figure. I don't know, but he holds it nicely. I think he looks much better holding it than the other Prime. There we go. Very nice. And we'll put that back in there, safe and sound. There we go. I believe that is it for all of his really cool play features, and I think he has a lot of them. I love the fact you can change his face and that these guns pop out. The guns popping out might be my favorite part, but I really like cool weapons on figures anyway. So there he is. He looks really nice. Let's talk about articulation. And again, this is coming loose. The problem is when you hold him and move him, like when I get a good grip on him, it just pops off. It's not horrible. It's not always falling down. I just wish it was a little more secure. So, his head sculpt. He can look up that far. He cannot really look down, same as the other figure. His head will rotate all the way around. The backpack gets in the way of it rotating all the way around, so if you want to do that, you need to move it back a little bit, and he can rotate his head all the way around, if that is your desire, if you're reenacting The Exorcist. Otherwise, you really don't need to do that anyway. I didn't have this pushed in as tightly as I could have. That's better. There we go. His arm has the same lift as the other arm on the Studio Series. I don't like it, but it does. I'm telling you. It's just... Comment section below. If you own this figure, does yours do that? So that'll go like that when it's up there. It's, again, not my favorite way for the shoulder joint to work, but that's how it is. His arm will go around all the way very nicely. The backpack gets a little bit in the way. Not too much. He's got... We're going to use this side. He's got elbow swivel, bicep swivel. This gets in the way a little bit, actually. So you're going to want to... And this came off. You want to turn this a little bit if you want his bicep swivel to go out more. And then you can push it back. And he has got arm. He's got wrist rotation. He does not have wrist bend. He does have movable fingers. That's always a welcome addition. Right there. His bicep bends 90 degrees. He does have waist rotation for all the way around, and it's not that weird angle that the other one had. He has no problem with his crotch plate because he doesn't have one. So he can put his leg up very easily, no problem. He goes up a little bit. Oh, wow. Look, he can be on a cheerleading squad. It goes up really, really, really high. That's actually really impressive. I never noticed that. And the knee bend, slightly over 90 degrees. It goes all the way back. He has got he does full splits. He looks so silly right now. He does full splits. Very nice. And his backpack just came loose again. Just so you get an idea of how loose that is. His leg will go back very far. The only thing stopping it, again, is this. If we wanted to rotate this out of the way, that's crazy. That's a really nice amount that can go back. But rotate this back. All right. There. Come on, stay. There we go. That's getting worse and worse the more I'm playing with him. Okay, so he's got, well, that's unfortunate. I just noticed this for the first time. His rotation's up at the upper leg, up at the hip. There's no knee rotation. You know, it always used to confuse me why that bothered people, and now I think I kind of understand. I don't know, I just kind of like having the rotation there. He can still pose. It still does not cause a problem. He can just pose really well. And for his feet, he can, if you put the heel in, he can point his toe. And it can go up about that far. And he has got, I'll put the heel back. He's got ankle tilt, but because of these side plates, it is limited. So the ankle tilt is actually much better on the Studio Series figure. But overall, he can still hold a cool pose. I don't like the way the shoulders do that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves with Transformers in general. I understand there's engineering issues. It just still gives it like less points with me if I was doing a grading system. But there he is. He can do a cool pose, a little back heavy. And this guy let's do a similar pose with him. See how that goes. Well, the first thing he's got going for him over the other Prime is, again, these ankle tilts make it easier to get a nice pose. This stupid thing I had to put back on, but once I do, that's a cool pose. I like that, and it's similar to his. He is not as back heavy. He seems a little more stable standing up. I'm surprised I'm saying this because I thought it would be the opposite. I almost like the proportions and just how this guy looks aesthetically, the Studio Series Deluxe class, over this guy. I like the colors that they're gray. I like how his backpack looks all machine-like. There's things I like better about this figure. I think I like the aesthetics of just how his truck and how this chest plate look. I think it looks a little more stylized. I like that this is a cool gray. I don't like how big these hips are. He's that backpack. I was gonna say he seems more stable. He doesn't have to worry about this crotch plate. But I kind of like how he looks a little better. I think he looks more dynamic. Once I put him in that pose, he looks really cool. He looks almost a little bit too lanky, I guess. Might be the problem. So, wow, I'm surprised. I thought that this guy was going to be the clear winner when I was going to compare the two of them. But they both have their pluses and minuses. This tan is killing me, though. If I could just take this cool gray, put it on him, if I could fix that crotch piece, this might be the winner for me. But I really like the fact he has these pop-out guns. I like you can change his faceplate. So they're both cool. They're both cool, and they both have their upsides and downsides, and hopefully by me showing you all this will help you make a purchasing decision if you're trying to decide between the two of them. And now for a quick size comparison. Here they are with the side swipe mold. That's how they stack up. The Deluxe class is a little bit taller than this guy, and this guy towers over him, the Brave Commander. So that's how that looks. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's transform them back into their robot modes. So first off, for Optimus Prime, let's just pull up his backpack, swivel this around, and then let's bring his chest. You know what? Let's do first. Let's actually swivel his head around, bring it back, and then push it down, just to get his head out of the way. Get that done with. And next, let's bring this entire thing up, like so. To flip this up, just grab this little tab right here, and that will pop up. And there we go. Let's now take his arms. We're going to unfold them. Let's do this side. The light's better for the first time. Yeah, let's push down. Okay. I'm going to take this, and we want to unfold his arms from this, and then we want to push this piece here in. It's a little bit tricky. You want everything to be set up just right. This needs to be down just correct way. There, it folds in like that. And then once it does, you bring the arm down and you put this tab into, it's hard to see, into a slot that's right there. Like so. Same for the other side. Pull that out. Push this piece in like that. And then this comes down and you tab this tab into this slot. And it'll probably come undone several times as you're doing this. And then you can take the smokestacks and turn them around. They're not really smokestacks. I don't think the Cybertronian version had smoke. Maybe Energon came out of it. I don't know. Ask me anything about how that works with the vehicles and how they're fueled. Bring the lid up and close it onto there. Now we want to rotate this entire thing. And let's just do this part of the legs first. We're going to grab this part here and bring it around. Same for the other side. Bring that around. Bring in the toes. That awfully loud snap. Let's take the whole thing and bend it, but then the legs go up like that. And this is the part that's tricky. To get these posts to go in the hands and also get this red tab here to go into that slot on the arm. See where they're going together there? Well, it went in. Let's do that first. Let's put the tabs in first. Now, you have to have the leg rotated just right, the upper leg rotated just right for this to fit in correctly. So there, it tabbed in. It's a little hard to explain, but I think you'll see what I mean if you're trying to transform it. Also make sure that this is tabbed together for the legs. And now, all we need to do is get these posts into the fists there. And that can be, it probably won't be tricky because we're filming. Yeah, it went right in, of course it did. But this one is a little bit farther away, and so you want to just push that up until it goes in. But then you need to look, and you'll see that the tab came out. It's nice that they made that red, honestly, because it makes it easy to see where it is and what you need to do. So you just need to... So once I try to get that on, and that's tabbed in correctly, because this is holding here, these tabs just came undone down here. And this is my frustration in how this is fiddly. And you just need to mess with it until everything is just right. This does not hold together as securely as I like. This post just came out on this side now, and you need to just fight with it. You kind of also just want these lower legs to bend up a little bit, or the upper legs. so that everything fits. So you just need to kind of mess with it and fight with it. And I'm not a fan. And then you want to make sure that the feet are secure. And oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to turn these around. They stay. Again, I get this mixed up with the Brave Commander version, the Takara version. That always stays that way. You don't need to do that unless you want to. Maybe you like it better that way. I don't know. Do I like it better that way? Not especially. In fact, I think that's what you do with the other figure. But the other figure, he has some cool stuff on the other end when you rotate it. This guy just kind of like has this plain nub there. So, oh well. That is that. But he's done. He's transformed. And there he is. That is how you transform him back. I am not a fan of how you need to get the legs and arms together at the end there. So that's frustrating. I like a lot of parts of his transformation. I like how the shoulders fold into the part up here, and I like how these wheels swivel around to the back. I do not like this part here, how this comes together. But that's his transformation to alt mode. Let's move on to Brave Commander. So the first thing that we want to do, let's go to his let's go to his backpack that comes loose way too easily, and we're just gonna double fold it for now, just to get it out of the way. And now we're gonna work on his upper body. We're gonna unhinge these and bring them down. And then, after we do that, and let's also turn these around, because these ones you are supposed to turn around. The smokestacks, the stacks, the pipes, whatever. Turn those around. So, this is a little bit hard to see. So, you want to rotate this up, and there's like a kind of slot right here. And there's this little small tab right here. And those should go together when you bring this up. It's not incredibly secure, but they want to kind of like connect there. So same thing for the other side. Bring that up so that they connect. And now what you want to do, I should have done this first probably. Let's unfold this all the way up like that. Let's bring his head all the way back. Okay, so let's go on to the back. First thing you want to do is you want to unfold these. If you don't do it now, it's going to be hard to do it later. In fact, I'm refilming this because I forgot to do it before. So now we're going to turn this around. We're going to straighten this part out. We're going to unfold the cab. Bring this out. We're going to bring these guys out. And we're going to push. Oh, see, it'll do it by itself, really. But you want to push these in if they haven't already. All right, now let's go back to how this looked before. Again, make sure that these are lined up. That little very subtle tab. Oh, there goes his gun. So just bring these down. And bring them down as far as you can get them. Like that. Done. Now let's move this up and over. And the clearance is a little tight. I don't like this part of the transformation. I don't like it when things scrape together like that. And then take this and you just want to move it in and push this back into those little clips there on both sides. It's a little fiddly to get it to go in just right, but there we go. It needs to tab in like that. There. And then you want to just make sure that this normally should be out still, but you want to tab that in like so on both sides. There we go. Okay. Let's move this back if I haven't already. Let's do that. One thing I forgot to mention, when you have this double hinge out and you're turning this into alt mode, look back here. Make sure these two tabs are in these two slots here. Like so. If you don't, it is probably why you might have seen me struggling when I was towards the end of turning him into alt mode. So don't forget that part, like I did. We're going to rotate the forearms. Oh, and it stayed on. Bring this up, put the fist up. Same thing for the other side. Rotate, bring this up, bring the fist up. And then we're going to just move them both in, and they're going to tab together. That might come undone. It probably will. Oh, I forgot to move the fist. I like to move the fist around. See? Already came undone. I want to move the fist around. It just looks less obvious that they're fists. If you ever want to look at his undercarriage, although you shouldn't be doing that. What's wrong with you? There. Click those together. There. All done. And now, really, we just need to do the legs. So let's fold in the heels and push the feet down. Now we want to untab these and bring out these panels. Same for the other side. To untab this guy. It's a little tricky to get this out for me. Come on, there we go. And bring that out. And then we want to take this and unhinge it like that. And just bring the whole thing up. And this will go back in down here. At the same time, though, you want this tab to go into this slot right there. And as you're doing all this, make sure this is up. And back here, you're going to have to do some management with this either. This panel needs to be over this panel. So there's a few things you need to be aware of at the same time. This is also a fiddly part of the transformation I do not enjoy. So this comes loose, a little hard to do that sometimes. Bring it up. Push that in. Sometimes you can't push it in all the way because you still need to put some other things together, and I'll show that in a second. Make sure this is tabbed in. Come on. There, that's tabbed in. That's still tabbed in on that side. There, that's better. Now, let's look at the back. This is wrong. You want it the other way, like that. So that will click in there. And amazingly, I think this all stayed where it's supposed to be. Just make sure this is all pushed in on both sides. It is. All right, this actually went better than usual. And then you just want to fold these in. And this will come apart a little bit, and then you want to push in. That actually went beautifully. Nice. Okay. So that's how you want to do that. And our transformation is complete. I think I like his transformation better. I think it's a little bit more, it's a little less fiddly than the other figure. But I think there's some more interesting engineering bits about the Studio Series, to be honest. But that's just personal preference. There's some cool stuff about this guy as well. But this guy's just more interesting to me. So that is them. That is how they stack up. I am surprised how well this guy does compared to this guy. He's also less expensive, unless the aftermarket's not great. I'm not sure what it is right now. Oh, and we also want to put this back in here. Be careful. I don't like to put that in all the way because it really goes on snugly. So there, you have that. And then if you want to put the axe back on, by the way, it's a little tricky because after all that work we did to get these legs just right, you want that untabbed, and these two slots here and here go underneath where the knees are, and then you just bring everything together. So it's nice and secure, and I think it looks nicer where that is than just plugging this into the side of the Brave Commander. And I guess that's another side of all this is that, oh, I forgot something. On the back, you want to unfold these wheels. Sorry. You'll find that out when he doesn't roll. So there he is. He's rolling. But, I don't know, this is a little clunky there on the side. I mean, a lot of Transformers have that kind of weapon storage. This is just a little nicer to me. And now let's take a quick look at a size comparison with the side swipe mold again, specifically clamp down. I think he's clamped down. If he's not, tell me in the comment section below. That's how they look together. Let's look at them lengthwise. That's how they compare. So there they are. Honestly, if you like this character, these are both actually better picks than I expected. Thought I would love him. Thought I would just be ripping on him completely. But they both have their pluses and their minuses. So, I hope that helped you if you need to make a decision between the two. If you have a favorite of the two, let me know which one in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.